question. We could do a whole series sussing out
Oh yeah,
the
we
Baldur's
can.
Gate influences on the new revised versions.
And the artwork. We had an interesting comment. So, all right, so this will tie in. So in our campaign, we have some lizard folk that we're dealing with, right? So lizard folk, as Ryan has so wonderfully role played them, they're just kind of alien in the sense that they don't think like mammals, right? So they have a different logic. They're not dumb. They don't go to like higher maybe education institutions. They don't read books. Maybe, they have a different agenda of what their priorities are, and they're not the typical like mammalian society that we see in D&D. So that can make for some interesting like choices, right? But there was a piece of artwork that you saw that
Oh,
portrayed portrayed lizards with mammaries,
yes.
like
There's a
mammals.
it came up. So so first it's an interesting challenge. It's kind of the opposite challenge because we had this conversation about the elves in Dolmenwood, and like not even the elves in Dolmenwood, but the elves who never left Barry, who've been at a cocktail hour for 900 years. And like
Yeah,
how do you play something that's like so foreign from your own experience? Um Lizard folk kind of go in the opposite direction. It's much more like simplistic society and is straight up like this isn't just like a different kind of person. This is like further from that than whatever, a dwarf or a halfling or even an elf who's from another dimension. Like this thing's whole structure is different than yours. How do I make you understand that without being like me lizard dumb? Like how did like I
yeah,
don't want you to fall into that trap of like, oh, we're just gonna outsmart these guys. It's like, no, they're canny. They just don't follow your rules. They just see the world fundamentally differently than you, and like they collectively raise their young, and if one doesn't make it, like, maybe some of them would be down to eat it because waste not, want not. Like it's just a different ethical code,
right.
um, and moral worldview. But there is a, I don't know if it made it anywhere other than Reddit, but there was a kind of a meme flame war for funsies about like, do lizard folk women have boobs in character art? And if you Google that, the answer is often yes. But
Yeah,
I'm firmly on the side of like, no, they're not
yeah,
mammals. There's no mammalian like
right.
fundamental trait there. Um,
Yeah, I mean, trying to determine like if they're, the gender of a bird, if it's not by
right,
its plumage,
right.
you have no idea, like you're just not gonna know. But and so for a lizard, it's